Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, today I have a 1v1 for you between Mr. Tag Rock, the legend, the man, the myth, the brick wall, the immovable object, Mr. Rock. This guy, you can say, well, let's just say he rocks. I went there, I did that. This man, amazing player. Love casting his games. And in here, of course, we have Lemm, who is also very fun to watch. And we've seen him take over games like nobody's business. So I'm sure these two players, I don't think I've ever seen them in a 1v1, will match up like absolute god kings and provide us with entertainment that can only be found in TA Escalation. I love this mod. I can't stop casting it. I really need to cast other TA games on my channel like Bar and FAF, but I just love Escalation. So I'm going to cast another Escalation game. But guys, if you want to be part of my community, if you want to be in my Discord and talk to me and play games with us, we are playing all the time. And we would love to have you. We accept people of all skill levels, and there are people of all skill levels in the community. So no matter how good or bad you think you are, you have a place in my community. Please join the Discord. Please come be part of it. And I'll put the link in the description. But with that, let's jump into this game. Now, both players are core, and that's interesting. And both players are starting vehicles. The map Green Ace Extended is technically supposed to be for a 3v3 map, but these players wanted a bit of a micro challenge, and so they did decide I will do a 3v3 map in a 1v1, and that is exactly what they will do, as Rock has found a single construction vehicle sort of caught out in the middle of doing his sacred duty of building. But luckily, does seem like Lemm will be on top of that. I like these two colors, orange and yellow. Should be an interesting game. I apologize for my colorblind viewers. It may be difficult to tell what the heck is happening. But, yeah, again, at the very start, I don't really know what to say. Very standard openings at the beginning here. Might speed it up a little bit. Let's check how many constructors are happening here. It looks like there's... Am I reading this right? It looks like Lemm with only 2 constructors. And let's see how many Rock has. Rock has 3, so Rock with a slight advantage early on. If you ever wanted to see what it was like from a player's perspective, like what is the player looking at and at any given moment, and kind of like what are they doing with their screen gyrations and all the crazy panning to different parts of the map, this is what it looks like. This is what Lemm is currently viewing. We can't really see like his mouse clicks, but you can sort of get an idea. This is what Rock is doing. He is right now focused on this construction vehicle, probably giving it a bunch of orders. And I assume that giving it even more orders maybe, but at the very beginning of this game, neither player certainly has any kind of huge advantage. I'm sure that both of these players, being very skilled, can take this into a long macro game. We would love to see T2 and even T3 and even T4 play, but perhaps I'm being a little too optimistic by asking for T4 in a 1v1. I don't think I've ever seen that. We've certainly seen T4 in team games, but yeah, even T3 would be good enough for me. I would love to see it, as both of these players, some of the strongest individuals in the entire Escalation community. So you know, and they know, and I know, and we all know that they are capable of bringing this game to the absolute latest stages that a 1v1 can possibly go, and wrecking each other in a glorious robot chaos and carnage, Michael Bay style movie. We would love to see it. We not only would love to see it, we need to see it. Please put it in a needle and pump it into our fucking veins. Rock and Lemminkainen. But Rock is now finding an entrance here. Lemminkainen will nano block, and he will surprisingly keep that vehicle alive. I think if I was Rock, I would have targeted this vehicle down. In the end, that is a big blow. At the early stages of the game, losing a construction vehicle can be very crippling to your economy. Here at the north of the map, Lemminkainen with his own little attack, but Rock building levelers. And that should be more than enough to stop all of this in its tracks. So both players getting some economic damage done, but still very even economically and looks like positionally on the map. Neither player having a huge advantage at this point in the match. But Rock with another attack. Lemminkainen needs to be careful. His construction vehicle is in danger, sir. He will save it again. Lemminkainen keeping his cons alive. That is important if he wants to keep up with Rock in the late and the mid to late stages of the game. So thus far, I don't think either player has lost a construction vehicle, unless I missed it. It could have happened, of course, when I wasn't looking, but I think right now, still very even in all ways, both in terms of map position and in terms of economy. But Lemminkainen going for a quick, and I mean lightning fast T2. He will even reclaim his starting vehicle plant to throw this up at record speed. Guys, we are only about 11 minutes into the game. That is a lightning fast T2 plant for a 1v1. Now, in like a 4v4 or 5v5 game, that might not be too extraordinary or out of the ordinary. But in a 1v1, to rush T2 like this, it is a large risk. Of course, teching does seem to be Lemminkainen's style. He will tech as fast as he can. I've seen him get to T3 at record speeds, and he may pay for it here because Rock moving down with a small assault squad of levelers. I like the placement of this light laser tower though, but it won't be enough to stop this, and he is going to lose quite a bit in the process of this greedy T2 rush. Rock definitely is going to punish them. So let me say something here. These instigators that he sent north. So okay, look, if you're going to rush T2, which it can work. I'm not crapping on the strategy. Okay, like it's possible for this to work, but here's the thing. He reclaimed his vehicle plant. So that means he no longer has production. He can't build any more instigators. And that also means he's going to be vulnerable because the T2 costs thousands of metal to get there. So the point is, if Lemminkainen is going to rush T2, I think it is a good strategy to keep his units in his base defending. Imagine if he had kept these instigators back and try to defend himself, prevent Rock from just moving into his base and killing everything with near impunity. I think that was a mistake by Lemminkainen. If you're going to rush T2, it's okay, but you need to keep all the units you've built in your base until you can completely transition. Luckily, Rock will meet this defensive position here, and that will cause problems for him and maybe give Lemminkainen a chance to recover from kind of a terrible situation. The pyros are on the field, but poor Lemminkainen got a little bit demolished there. The replayer is spazzing out. Guys, I do apologize. Looks like there was some kind of break in the action as one of the players had to go take care of real life things. Now, believe it or not, my friends or my audience, these players do have real life duties. They actually do have their own stories and their own life and responsibilities and duties, and it's amazing given how good they are that they could ever do anything but just sit around on the computer eating potato chips and Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew and playing Escalation. But no, they do have lives. Their lives do sometimes... Oh my god. The replayer's freaking out. The units are now moving the speed of light. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is, there was a break in the action, but now we are once again back to it. Rock finding another approach into Lemminkainen's base, perhaps inflicting even more economic damage than he already has. So this quick rush to T2 by Lemminkainen, it is certainly being punished. It doesn't mean that he's out of the game, but it's definitely giving Rock the opportunity to punish him for this greedy playstyle that he has chosen to do in this situation. But the issue is, Rock is also now on T2. So, Rock was not that much farther behind. So guys, here's the issue with rushing T2 like this. Once your opponent sees that you're on T2, they can go there immediately. And they know they're pretty safe to go there immediately. Because if they still have much more of the map than you, or they have a better army, or they're raiding your base like Rock is here, then it's going to be difficult for you to have any kind of ability to stop them from taking to T2 shortly after you do. So there is an idea I've heard a lot, and some of my viewers or people that don't like the mod, that T2 is overpowered, like whoever gets to T2 first wins. But I think in this game it shows why rushing T2 does not automatically mean you're going to win. Lemminkainen now struggling. He's only at about half as much metal as Rock, and Rock got to T2 way after Lemminkainen, comparatively like 5 minutes later. So like 33% later in the match did Rock get to T2, but Lemminkainen's rush to T2 punished him, or was a punishment. It was severely exploited by Rock, who found this opportunity to make his opponent bleed. And now Lemminkainen is going to have to get something done if he really wants to stay in this game, because Rock looking very, very strong here. Both players building pyros. That's not unexpected in a game like this. In a 1v1, the pyro is extremely strong. One other thing that I really like that Rock is doing is he still has his 2 vehicle plants. So he will still be able to use vehicle tech, while Lemminkainen, he has transferred out of it completely. I don't even see... oh, there is one construction vehicle, so there may be some construction vehicles lurking around on the map. There's the corpse of one here, but nonetheless, the real issue with this decision by Lemminkainen is that he couldn't even go into advanced vehicles if he wanted to without having the tech available. However, he has gone into air. That is a noteworthy development. We'll have to see what he wants to do with it. Whether he wants to build bombers, or perhaps just use the constructors to take over the map, give him some extra building power, or maybe even go to advanced aircraft. So there's a lot of options once you get into air. There's a lot of possibilities. Kind of a whole universe of possibilities, but Lemminkainen looking for some harassment here. A few pyros will break through, but there are some light laser towers. Is it enough? Pyros are decently armored for the T2 stage. Light laser towers, certainly not the best possible defense, but this one pyro, very annoying, as he will probably move through kill all those extractors, and he's already killed a few. So one pyro can really wreck your base. They just do so much damage. This pyro has a sliver of health, but he might as well be invincible. If these pyros can't stop him, they will stop him just in range. But yeah, very annoying and a good attack by Lemminkainen. But still, you can see Rock has the better grasp of the map. He's got light laser towers here, very well done, or very well designed defense here in the middle, and he's slowly creeping forward. However, Lemminkainen is also defending his side. He just doesn't have as much presence. He has not expanded far enough out quite yet to achieve what he needs to at this stage of the game, at this crucial stage of the game. Right now, he's only building construction aircraft. That is a little bit unfortunate. I think bombers could really be a game changer at this point. Rock with only minimal air defense, a good bombing run could inflict serious damage on his base. But right now, Lemminkainen focusing heavily on production, only building military units from this one factory and just building cans. But Lemminkainen, I think he needs more production power. Maybe a second advanced K-bot lab. Problem is he can't really go into vehicles for the reasons I stated. So maybe an advanced K-bot lab, maybe an advanced aircraft plant. Something. I don't think producing cans and pyros out of one factory is really going to save him here against Rock, who is now applying even more aggression. But Lemminkainen also applying aggression. We are in a war of pyros here, burning down the forest, causing forest fire warnings. But Lemminkainen, again, he's producing units out of this factory almost instantly, but it doesn't matter because there's only one factory. And Rock has found a nice entrance here to get more damage done, but Lemminkainen attempting his own attack on Rock's base. And that will be successful, ultimately. And at least keeping Rock busy. Because imagine if these pyros were on Lemminkainen's side. That would be a very devastating situation, as Lemminkainen already on the back foot, as you can see just by looking at the bigger picture here. Rock doing very, very well for himself. And now working on an advanced vehicle plant, which I mentioned earlier, is a privilege that only Rock has at this stage of the game. This is something that only Rock... this is a tech that only Rock has available to him. I suppose Lemminkainen could use this construction vehicle to go there, but so far he hasn't. I'm really amazed that Lemminkainen is sticking on one advanced K-bot lab. I mean, building so quickly out of it. I mean, he is using his metal, so I shouldn't be too critical. A lot of times, the mark of a good player is whether they can use their resources or not, and Lemminkainen, he's at least using his resources, but it doesn't seem like he's using them as effectively as Rock. Look at this. Rock completely bottomed out on metal. Lemminkainen not able to produce quite enough from one factory to really use all of his resources. But yeah, these pyros are so annoying. They're hard to catch, even with other pyros. Rock now attempting a juke maneuver that won't be effective. But this is the one part of the map, ironically, that Lemminkainen has defended. And so a GAT and a Immolator on this side should make a push by Rock down this southeastern approach. Very ineffective. So nice little honey trap that Lemminkainen has made there. That's pretty much the only part of his base that is defended. Everything else is just missile turrets and then a couple geothermal power plants, but that won't offer too much protection in any kind of nice raiding situation. So guys, this is something to learn as a player. You cannot protect your whole base. It's just not really feasible or efficient to try to build a defense like, you know, Maginot Line all the way across your base. So what you can do instead is block off a certain area of your base. Like in this case, the eastern part of Lemminkainen's base is pretty much blocked off, and then use your units to defend your mobile armies to defend the other areas. So, you know, you're not using defenses to defend everything. What you're doing is, again, Lemminkainen doing it here as well. He is cutting off this part of the map, and as he slowly cuts off chunks of his base from being approached, it makes the rest of his base much easier to defend because there is a smaller and smaller area where the opponent can successfully attack. So nice job by Lemminkainen. This is definitely what you want to do. You don't want to try to defend everything at once. Like in Lemminkainen's case, he cuts off the edges of his base because it is a very common tactic for opponents to send units at the edges where they think the base will be least defended. So Lemminkainen sort of metagaming here. Rock doing almost the opposite. Rock is building defenses in the middle primarily, and then probably using his units to defend the side. Of course, this side, no, he's defended this side pretty well. So Rock cutting off a huge chunk of the map, a huge portion of his base, will be difficult to break through at this stage, but nonetheless, the game still goes on as both players doing a decent job of attacking and defending. So, and, you know, economically, they're still pretty even though in terms of positionality, Rock's certainly in a better place, and we've seen this in so many games that I've casted with Rock. He's very good spreading out onto the map, spreading his tendrils. The octopus style is what it has been called in the past. So he is very efficient. This replay is so silly. Things just keep speeding up and slowing down, and I'm not really sure why. The replayer does tend to be a little bit buggy. But again, Lemminkainen attempting another attack. This is decently defended here. There's a GAT, and there's quite a few units. Reapers, of course, will be relatively strong against groups of Pyros. He will lose the Geo, but the GAT will stay up, and more units streaming down the middle. So Lemminkainen does get something accomplished here. He will take out a Geo and some mexes and a few defenses. But ultimately, Rock was ready for this. This was not too devastating. Lemminkainen sending his units straight up the middle, and Rock mostly prepared for this. Lemminkainen will lose almost everything. But Rock attempting a counterattack, and that isn't going to work that well either because of the aforementioned defensive strategy that Lemminkainen is using. But yeah, right now the game is still pretty even, but I still like Rock's position quite a bit better just because of his presence on the map and his ability to not only expand but to defend his expansion pretty well. He probably needs to use this, but guys, the problem is, once you're at the stage of the game where you've got 1 million construction vehicles all doing things simultaneously, you will, even the best players, will forget about the cons, and there will be some inefficiency in the production, kind of in the productivity. So we can see that right now. Rock will eventually get to this, but Again, a very well-placed gap. The whole idea is to cut off this entrance, and it basically does. As you can see, those pyros are forced back. They will take a different approach as Rock himself is pushing down the left side, but Lemminkainen with a beautifully placed defense here, cutting off this whole area. This whole area is going to make Rock cringe internally as he sees 2 Gats and an Immolator protecting that approach and now bringing cans. So both players parrying each other extremely well, and the game continues to be extremely close as well. I mean, neither player with a huge advantage. Rock might have a little bit stronger of an economy, but at the 30-minute mark, it is nothing too outrageous. Nothing that Lemminkainen can't overcome with some good strategic choices, and Lemminkainen is also using all of his resources now, all of his metal. So that's a good development. But yeah, right now Lemminkainen attempting another attack. This game is it's an absolute circus of pyros. Lots and lots of these guys, but again, at this stage of the game, the pyros are very strong. They do fall off pretty quickly, though, once you get to the kind of late T2 stage, and then especially T3, pyros start getting dumpstered by just about anything on T3, and of course, a lot of things at the T2 phase, especially the late T2 phase, will kill them without any problem at all. So that's one thing I do love about Escalation that I've mentioned before in my casts. I love this game. I love the fact that as the mod is named, the game goes through these various phases that escalates through different phases where certain units are borderline overpowered at one point and then basically useless at a different point. So, you know, at the 2-minute mark, the Flash may be the best unit in the game, but at the 10-minute mark, it is certainly not. At the at the 15-minute mark, the Pyro may be the best unit in the game, but at the 25-30-minute mark, it is nowhere near the best. And as the game progresses, different units have their time to shine. Morty's coming out. This is the time for Mortys to shine, as we have reached the stage of the game where the heavily armored push of Reapers and Mortys. The Reaper, of course, the healthy front line that can take and deal massive amounts of punishment, with the Morty in the back shelling targets from way out of their range, and especially Mortys are good against stationary defenses because they can't move. The Morty isn't perfectly accurate. As you can see, they miss quite a bit, especially against moving units, but against stationary targets, they are quite effective indeed, and very strong against defensive positions, especially if there's like Dragon Teeth Wall. I don't know why I'm just drawing in the middle of nowhere. I'll just show you. So units like this that have Dragon's Teeth Wall, the Mortys don't really care about that. They don't really care about these Dragon's Teeth positions because their shells have an arc. They will simply arc over the Dragon's Teeth and hit their target regardless, where units like a Pyro or a Reaper would have serious trouble breaking through the Dragon's Teeth. So again, that is what I love about this mod. You have the different stages where units will they will start out or transition from being nearly overpowered to basically useless. I mean, you can... There's no stage of the game where the Pyro is completely useless. You can always, you know, for example, still raid with them, you know, find an approach into the enemy's base. But in combat, they're pretty useless. Like, the only use they would have after a certain point is trying to catch your opponent by surprise and use their speed to try to raid some of their economy or their production. But even that can become difficult in the later stages of the game as the defensive lines become more elaborate and effective. But Rock showing us the power of the Mortys here. This unit is very controversial, and it has been not only in escalation but bar as well. The combination of long range firepower on a K-bot, and the reason that it's important, the fact that it's a K-bot is important, is because K-bots having great acceleration, being able to move and turn on a dime, where the more traditional mobile artillery like the Lugers and the Pillagers are tracked, so they can't maneuver quite as well. They're much easier to catch and punish. But Mortys, if used correctly, are very hard to catch. As you can see here, kiting Lemminkainen into oblivion. Lemminkainen will simply take attritional damage here till the cows come home. There's nothing to stop Rock from pelting his army into oblivion. So again, this is the Morty stage of the game. These are incredibly effective in a certain situation, and you can see why people sometimes call them overpowered. In this situation, they feel overpowered, but they're not, because there are good counters. And again, at a certain stage, they do fall off very hard. So we'll have to see how Lemminkainen wants to respond, whether building Mortys of his own, or maybe rushing to T3, maybe building bombers. He does not have advanced air just yet, and it doesn't look like he's started on T3 just yet. He's moving air cons around the map, upgrading his eco, but if nothing else, Rock has shoved Lemminkainen into a corner where he doesn't want to be. But Lemminkainen, despite being on the back foot positionally, now has an economic advantage. As you can see, he's upgraded almost all of his mohos, or almost all of his economy, to T2. Rock continues to send scouts. I think Rock just wanting to know when Yellow will be reaching the T3 phase and whether he needs to upgrade. He's adding markers now. Does Rock actually have bombers? No, I don't think Rock actually has any bombers. He's just getting information. Guys, knowing is half the battle. Part of being a good player in escalation is knowing what your opponent's doing and reacting to it. Lemminkainen has caught some of these Mortys out. The Pyro's significantly faster, so a good maneuver right there by our yellow player, catching a large group of Mortys out and trying to get the rest of them as well. Nicely done by Lemminkainen. Most of these Mortys are now dead. The Pyro's melting them into a puddle. No trouble at all. The Goliath's too slow to really protect them. And Can's moving through now, but ultimately this Morty threat has certainly been shrunk significantly. And the Mortys that are even alive are barely alive. They could be breathed on. Lemminkainen building his own Mortys. And Rock does have some bombers. I don't think he has a huge fleet of bombers. He's got one or two. Building more. It looks like there's a few there, but not enough for a dedicated run. He really needs, if he wants to get some serious damage done, he probably wants between 8 and 10 hurricanes to really take out priority targets in Lemminkainen's base, such as factories and fusions metal, things like that. Moho. So yeah, he is building up a Hurricane fleet now. It will take him a little more time to get there. Lemminkainen saw those Hurricanes, so he may begin building air defense now. He is. He's throwing up some Cobras. So I don't know if I agree with Rock's decision here to show his Hurricanes. I think it's being a little too revealing. Maybe want to hide your strategy from your opponent if at all possible, especially if you're going to do cheeky bombing run. But yeah, Lemminkainen has found an entrance, and a few pyros will break through. Single light laser tower here to stop this, but it will not really even slow it down. The Morty's being brought along, but this one area where he couldn't build a Dragon's Tooth now being opened up as Rock going into his bombing formation. Let's keep an eye on that. He has a huge amount of scouts flying around looking for targets. And let's watch where these Hurricanes are. It looks to be about 8 or 9. Looks to be 8. And how much can he get done with these? Lemminkainen does not have an overwhelming amount of air defense. He'll kill one Moho there. He'll kill a Lacerator. Oh, not quite. That will survive. Now swinging around for another Moho. But targeting the Gat. Now he won't even get that. He won't get the Lacerator. I have to say, that was not the most effective bombing run I've ever seen, and I don't even really understand it. This whole area to the left has almost no air defense at all. He could have targeted these Mohos, then maybe swung around, gone for the fusions or the advanced K-Bot labs, but ultimately that was quite an effective bombing run. But these pyros in the north causing so much trouble. Just the few that sneak through kill Moho extractors, and they kill energy storages as well. So I think if Rock had gotten some more damage done with those bombers, it could be a very different game right now. If he had taken out these fusions, Lemminkainen's economy would be crippled. He would not be able to tech T3, but Lemminkainen lost almost nothing. He lost one Moho, I think. That was it. Things were damaged. The Lacerator was hurt. Gat almost died, but close but no cigar there. It's not going to be enough. And Lemminkainen now phasing to T3, as he loves to do, using those Mortys. The Goliaths really have no way to respond to the Mortys that are faster and outrange them. So yeah, the Goliaths really have no recourse to the Mortys. But I do like that Rock is heavily using air now. Lots of scouts bringing gunships into the fray. Lemminkainen has no air defense in his mobile army. He does have a Lacerator, but as long as Rock stays out of range of his base defenses, he should be able to get a lot done. I like that Lemminkainen is now building shrouds. This will be an effective way to conceal his base from the enemy. And once again, Rock in the driver's seat. What is Rock doing at home? He's also teching to T3. Both players deciding T3 K-Bots is the play. I have to say, I largely agree with that. I've said before in previous casts, I feel like of all the T3 options in escalation, of all the T3 gantries, the core T3 K-Bot lab might be the most well-rounded, or the most interesting, at the very least. Huge amount of options for the player. It can basically do almost everything. You've got the Widow early on, which is extremely effective at the early T3 phase, as I mentioned before. Near overpowered at the beginning of T3. And then you have the... why am I blanking here? The battle in the middle between Goliaths and Cans. Goliaths will be a pretty good match against Cans, but with the Morty support, it is a little harder to win the fight. But anyways, after the Widows, you have the Talos. I kept thinking Karganeth. Karganeth is basically what the unit is called in Bar. It used to be anyway. And then after the Talos, you have all kinds of things you can do. I like the rapiers coming in here. But Lemminkainen is building a decent amount of air defense. This game is still very close, despite the fact that Rock has been knocking on heaven's door now for about 15 or 20 minutes. Still not making much headway into Lemminkainen's base. He does have more of the map, but it has not translated into a huge advantage. Rock with a few Dominators here, but not enough to reach critical mass. And Lemminkainen now defending a huge area of his base with Vipers, making this approach somewhat difficult, to put it lightly, or to say that it's somewhat difficult, I think, is understating it. It will be near impossible, I think, for Rock to break through with his current composition. In the closed state, the Viper barely taking any damage from the Dominators at all, even though they outranged them, bringing Pillagers into the fray. But here's the issue: Lemminkainen is attempting T3, but he does not have the energy to do it. He's only on about 5k to Rock's 8k. Guys, T3 is expensive. It's a huge energy investment to try to tech to T3. You need quite a lot of fusions. Right now, Lemminkainen only with 2 fusions, working on a 3rd, but Rock, see how many fusions he has. He's got 4 fusions working on a 5th. So he's double the amount of fusions as his opponent, and that is what is going to allow him to reach T3 so much faster, and skipping Widows completely, going straight into Talos. I really like it because the Talos, though it is more expensive than the Widow, considerably, it is also stronger than the Widow considerably. And it could make a huge difference in these fights, especially if he gets like 2 or 3 Talos and mixes them with this army he already has. It could be game-ending, especially because Lemminkainen does not have T3 himself. But Rock needs to micro this. He does not want to keep his Mortys in a stationary position. We'll start to micro those back, but Lemminkainen is pushing back, but that is to be expected because Rock has just spent the last 5-10 minutes getting to T3 and now pumping out Talos, and I'd really like to see Rock wait until he has a few of these. Do not reveal this yet. Keep Lemminkainen from thinking or from knowing what an advantage Rock has over him right now. And then once he reaches kind of a critical mass of these of Talos, he can move down the map and deal insane damage to his opponent. We'll have to see if that's what he chooses to do. That's what I would do. It is a little bit tricky because keeping your forces in reserve in a close game can always hurt you. Obviously, you know, any unit that you're not actively using in combat, does not have any real value. But I think just the surprise factor, bringing like 3 Talos into the battle at once would be amazing. I mean, that would just really probably cause Lemminkainen to have some sort of stroke. But no, he won't be doing that. He's just going to send the Talos in one by one as they come off the assembly line. And again, like I said, there's some merit to that. Talos isn't really doing much by sitting in his base. And of course, the Talos will chew through these Mortys very effectively at a large range. The Talos range is probably equal to the Morty, but of course, instead of 800 health or whatever the Morty has, it's got like 10,000 health. So it is quite a bit beefier, harder to bring down, and its missiles are pinpoint accurate where the Mortys miss quite a bit of the time, especially against moving targets. So nicely done by Rock to get that Telos onto the field. Again, though, I don't know if 1 is enough to really break through all these defenses that he's built. He has now reached T3 himself, but he's pumping out Widows. And as you can see, he's able to get the Widows out much faster. He's already got 3 of them in no time at all. This 1 Talos isn't going to really be enough to cause Lemminkainen much of a headache. As if this walks into the range of the defenses here, it will probably die a gruesome death. Even though it's T3, it is not like a super tanky unit. It's more of a early T3 stage unit. Does a lot of damage, but it doesn't really, it's not able to tank a massive amount of damage in return, like some other units, like the Juggernaut, perhaps. Juggernaut in this situation could be amazing. Of course, those are slower than molasses. Take forever for one to get to the other side of the field, but a Juggernaut in the right place at the right time is a bit like Gordon Freeman. Can make all the difference. This Viper very close to dying, but again, Rock has been in the aggressive position this whole game, but has not really found a way to break through Lemminkainen's wall of defenses. Sending more scouts. He wants to know what his opponent is up to, but I wonder if he's rebuilt his bomber force. It doesn't seem like he has. This 1 Talos being annoying, but not much else. It can't get in range of the Vipers. These will kill it too quickly. So once again, these Talos are they are a threat, and they're certainly keeping Lemminkainen in his base, but they're not able to inflict the damage necessary to actually make a push into Lemminkainen's backline. Now, one thing that Rock is doing, I think, that's effective here is sending the cans forward. The cans have no real value here except as cannon fodder. But what they will do is they will give vision of these Vipers, and the Vipers, being in the open state, will be much easier to kill. So nice job by Rock. He is slowly taking out some of these defenses. A combined forces attack. And as this Talos count begins to rise, it will get harder and harder for Lemminkainen to stop this. But Lemminkainen building his own Talos, and he's got quite a few Widows as well. So once again, Rock does have a lead, but Lemminkainen is not too far behind. Widows very strong at this stage of the game. And they can deal with most T2 units without much of a problem. But there is a Talos here, and again, the Talos will beat Widows in equal numbers. And Kainen with his own Talos. Rock in a full retreat now, trying to keep these pillagers out of the line of fire of those widows that will kill them quite quickly. But Rock will lose his Talos. What is he building in his base? Now he's building his own widows. So both players still using very similar strategies. Of course, Rock is the only player on vehicles at all. So Rock will have the pillagers and the manticore to give him some support in these fights, but they aren't going to be extremely effective against widows. Rock still with one Talos alive, and it will be moving into the fray, attempting to kill what is left of Lemminkainen's force before it can deal too much damage to his base. But fortunately for Rock, there are plenty of defenses. Lots of heavy laser towers in position. That should stop this in its tracks with the units that are still streaming out. So Lemminkainen with a nice attempt of a counterattack, but ultimately it won't be too effective. But once again, both players just kind of building similar units, widows and Talos. I'd like to see someone attempt to build like a Juggernaut here. That would just be potentially game ending. Of course, Juggernauts are extremely expensive and it's going to take some time, but even a single Juggernaut can kill Talos with almost no issue whatsoever. However, I do like that Lemminkainen is adding sumos into the mix. These are upgraded sumos as well, I think. So sumo, as I've said before, the T2.5 monster. These are slow, but they are effective. They deal a ton of damage at a huge range, and they can tank punishment for days. So we'll have to see how effective can this push be. Rock needs to respond. He is attempting to build a doomsday machine, but that will take a minute. Still pumping out artillery, but I don't know how effective that artillery will be if he can't deal with the sumos and Talos, which are now making headway into his base. This Talos in the front is getting low, but again, Talos versus widows. Talos will certainly have an advantage. And this push, it's effective. Talos in the front is nearly dead, but one in the back is completely healthy, and the sumos as well. Rock scrambling to send units over to the west of his base, but Lemminkainen has found an avenue of approach with these sumos and Talos. He's got the right composition here. And this is not because he has any kind of better economy. Like, Rock's economy is much stronger, but he's not using his metal. Rock is unable to use his resources right now, where Lemminkainen is using all of his resources. And so this attack will break into Rock's base and begin crushing his economic lead. And I don't think this will end the game, but it's just a question of how much damage can it do before Rock is able to stop this. I'd really, really like to see Rock stop building widows. If he wants to use his metal, he could build a Juggernaut, and that would most certainly use most of his economy. And then at least he would have a unit that could kill Lemminkainen's forces without much of a problem. Throwing up immolators at mass speed, trying to stop this push, bringing gunships into the fray as well. Like I said, ultimately this push will be stopped. It's just a question of how much damage can it get done. Lemminkainen finally retreating the sumos. But yeah, ultimately Rock will hold this off. He is using his metal somehow all of a sudden. Tons of fusions there. This might be where he's building an Intimidator. I do like to see Intimidators. I've mentioned, I think even in my last cast, we don't see enough of these. Even in 1v1s, the long-range plasma cannon can be game-ending. But again, I'd like to see Rock invest into something. He will kill what was left of the army that broke through his base, but this entire area has been cracked wide open. He's going to need to refortify that portion of his base if he wants any chance of surviving another attack like that. But Rock, again, it's not using his resources. Stop building widows. I'd love to see a Juggernaut here. I'd love to see a Krogoth. Even an Arbitrator could be pretty nice in this situation. But a huge army of cans, and he's still got lots of pillagers. But the issue is, cans and pillagers are good at T2, but once the game hits T3, these are going to fall off extremely hard. The pillagers just don't really do the damage necessary to phase the Talos or the upgraded sumos. Cans as well fall off very hard once the game hits T3. Of course, they still can be useful. Do you see what I did there? They certainly could be effective. But against Lemminkainen's composition, I don't think this is really going to work the way that Rock wants it to. The cans are going to evaporate pretty quickly, and then the pillagers will be exposed. So right now, it's not a question of who has the better economy. Rock certainly does. It's a question of who's making the better choices with their composition, and Lemminkainen right now, he's way in the lead. At this stage of the game, Talos and Sumos reign supreme. Such an effective counter to what Rock has. Rock really needs to start building something other than these units. The Widows will be okay, but of course I think the Talos are going to be quite strong against the Widows. Bringing in Rapiers to try and stop this death push from reaching his defensive line. But the Talos does have a decent amount of anti-air built in, and Lemminkainen bringing some fighters into the fray as well. So, man, it's still really close. I like the use of Rapiers here. I like that Rock bringing in his own Vamps. And ultimately, I think he will be able to stop this attack. Finally, the Intimidator is finished. Rock is now using all of his metal, so I really like that too. I like that Rock finally able to efficiently use his resources. He will be able to push back this attack with the use of gunships there. Lemminkainen appears to be somewhat tickled by the fact that Rock has a big Bertha, but I don't see what is funny about it at all. As I've said in previous casts, man, I think these are totally underused in escalation. These long-range plasma cannons are just so effective. Look how far it's going. It's hitting the Ultra K-Bot Gantry. This one Intimidator could quite literally win the game. Look how effective this is. And guys, look, even if he can't kill this Ultra K-Bot Gantry, and he probably can't, because every shot, they can just repair it. But every shot, even if it doesn't kill the gantry, he's going to start taking out huge clumps of constructors. It's already happening. And once all these constructors die, Lemminkainen's production power is going to go into the toilet. So even if the Ultra K-Bot Gantry survives, the amount of damage he's doing with this one long-range plasma cannon is unreal. It doesn't even need to hit its target to be effective. It's going to force Lemminkainen to throw up a Corona T3 shield, a structure. Yeah, just imagine if instead of one of these he had 3. Or a Buzzsaw. I mean, the game would already be over. So, we don't see enough of these guys. We do not see enough long-range plasma cannons in escalation, and it really upsets me because in Pro TA you see these constantly. Partly because in Pro TA there is no T3, and I think people just overlook long-range plasma cannons for T3, but people should really build these more. And in this game you can just see how much of a problem it is causing Lemminkainen. This one structure, and like one Intimidator is really not that much more expensive than a Talos. So for what they offer, they are quite cheap indeed. They are worth their weight in gold, I'll tell you that much. So right now, Rock sending scouts. He is looking for a possibility. Looking for targets. Come on, Rock. Build some more Intimidators. Make the viewers happy. Give us a show. Rock went onto Ultra Vehicles. That explains how he was able to use all his resources. He built this massive Ultra Vehicle plant. I'm sure that allowed him to quickly use his metal, but now he needs to start producing out of it. Now it looks like he's targeting the anti-nuke, which is a good idea because if he kills this, that will make Lemminkainen's base vulnerable to nuclear power. Man, I really like what Rock is doing here. Sending scouts over and over, constantly keeping tabs on what his opponent is doing. Lemminkainen, by contrast, hasn't really sent any scouts, and he's even got a huge fleet of bombers almost ready to go, but he doesn't have the scouting information he needs to use them effectively. So, man, this one long-range plasma cannon, oh my god, it is just so effective. And, does it feel like he has more? Am I imagining things? I could swear he's got something. Ah, it's a Juggernaut. This is what I wanted. Guys, this is what I was praying for. It seems that the TA gods have heard my prayers. I wanted to see the Juggernaut. I needed to see the Juggernaut. I mentioned earlier in the cast that we needed the T3 combat put into a needle and pumped into our veins, and that is exactly what is happening. Man, I love the Juggernaut. This thing is just a slow piece of crap. Look at this piece of crap. Look at this. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. This thing is just the epitome of a piece of shit. It just fires these massive cannons of doom at a huge range. A huge range. These are basically Bertha's itself, and then its head cannon is a tachyon laser. But Lemminkainen sending these scouts forward. He's looking for the bombing target. He's decided that he cannot stay on the defensive. Now that this Juggernaut is on the field, there is a clock on our yellow player. He's going to have to get a lot done with these bombers if he wants any chance of winning this game. Slow it down. Targeting the long-range plasma cannon right away. I have to say I agree with that. Then going for the Ultra Vehicle plant next, but it looks like a lot of those bombs did not go off. He wasn't quite able to line bomb properly, so in the end, all he's able to get for his trouble basically is the LRPC. I think if he had done it better, he could have killed the Ultra Vehicle plant, but For just the Intimidator, I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know if he really got his money's worth. Because Rock could just build another Intimidator in no time. They're not that expensive at the T3 phase. They really, for what they do, are a drop in the bucket. Might as well be charity. Juggernaut. This is exactly what I was talking about. The Juggernaut is so hard to kill and dealing a massive amount of damage. Lemminkainen sends his entire force against this Juggernaut to try and stop it. In the end, he can't even kill it, and the Juggernaut doesn't even... See, look, the Juggernaut has 3 kills, but that is a bit deceptive because the amount of damage this thing has dealt is its true value. Of course, Lemminkainen with his own Juggernaut now. So he has wisened up, but man, just look at Rock's army. It's so much bigger. Finally, he has heard me. He has heard my voice. I have put my voice into the void and said, please, Rock, build more Intimidators. And he says, yes, I will do as you command. And so now he is building another long-range plasma cannon. The voice from on high told him so. How often can you say that a voice comes down from the heaven and gives you advice? I think on some level we all want that. Just tell us what to do. Please help us fix the fuck up of our lives, or that is our lives. And that is exactly what I've done for Rock here. I've given him command. He has obeyed. I've sent the command back in time, even, so that he will hear me. So that's quite a superpower. I have to say, I'm not going to tell you how I did it. The Mammoth has been finished. That's a pretty nice option. Working on Talos again. I'd like to see some arbitrators. I think a couple arbitrators could be pretty effective here. Thinning out these sumo lines and the defenses. Lemminkainen with his own Juggernaut. But look how big Rock's army is. Of course, the Juggernaut is pretty decent against large armies. It's good against everything. That's what's so crazy about the Juggernaut. It's good against everything. Its cannons can deal a massive amount of damage to single targets or armies. And its head laser makes it effective against other T3 units. It's just jack of all trades, this thing. It's slow. It's the only downside, but I think Lemminkainen is being a bit crippled here. Slowly succumbing to the pressure. He's in a chokehold. What are you doing, Rock? His Intimidator is shooting airplanes or something. It's certainly not focused in the right direction. But man, I'd love to see him build more of these. Just build like 10 of them. The last game I cast with Walker, he had like 8 long-range plasma cannons or 8 Berthas. That was beautiful. Let's see that here, man. Let's see like a kind of world-ending, apocalyptic number of LRPCs. Something to crack Lemminkainen's base open. Looks like he may have even gotten that anti-nuke, so with that, he might even be able to nuke yellow if he so chooses. Lemminkainen not able to use his metal. Ah. Rock is... This is the way. This is the way, my friend. This is the way. Building more Intimidators. Working on another 2. Rock has heard me. Rock has heard my voice. The long-range plasma cannon game plan is in full swing now, my friends. It is only a matter of time before Lemminkainen's base is showered in a dizzying array of carnage and destruction. Oh my god, I love it. I love it! Give me more. Give me more rock. I need it. Put it in my veins. Build more of Intimidators. Oh my god, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's working on a third one now. It's only a matter of time before we reach critical mass, before there's so many long-range plasma cannons. Lemminkainen begins to be crushed, but hold that thought, because Lemminkainen, unwilling or unable to simply surrender, he now has his own attack of Harpies. Harpy, the core T3 fire gunship or flame gunship, Inferno gunship, something like that. It's a gunship that shoots fire. And oh my god, this mammoth, it has taken nearly a lifetime, but it will make its way down the east side of the map. And it should be enough to break through here. Lemminkainen has to get something done with these Harpies. I mean, like sniping of Commander or something. He is building an Umbra there that will allow him to have some scouting. But he's going to see all these Intimidators, and that's a terrifying thing to watch. Yeah, he's probably going for a snipe here with these Harpies. Maybe he's going for a T3 gantry. No, I think he's going for the snipe. He's got to kill Rock. This is the only way. This is the only way. Let's check out Rock's health. Rock is at about half health, using nano blocking. I don't think it's going to do it. It was a nice idea. It was a nice idea. It almost actually worked. Yeah, Lemminkainen sighing a breath of frustration, and maybe even sighing a breath of surrender. That was a good idea. I mean, a few more of those and it may have worked. Rock doing a great thing by building this upgrade center that will give his commander like 4 times the amount of health or some crazy amount of extra defense. A regular commander, a non-upgraded commander, would have died to that for sure. But now Rock doing what he does best, doing what he loves to do, crushing his opponent under the sheer weight of his army. Man, this is a beautiful sight to see. I didn't get to watch what happened to the mammoth. Oh, it looks like it's still alive. He's just moving it west. He's trying to cut off Lemminkainen's forces. There's 2 Juggernauts here. But will it be enough? Now the gunship's moving into the fray. Diplomats in the wings. And wow, what an amazing game this has been. Thank you to Mr. Lemminkainen and Tag Rock for a spectacle of epic proportions. What a 1v1 this has been. And at no point was Lemminkainen out of it. Lemminkainen playing like a champion, but Rock holding on and even applying so much pressure the whole game. Great map control. Lemminkainen hanging in there. It's still not over, but these long-range plasma cannons are going to make it difficult for Lemminkainen to even leave his base, really. The Intimidators showing their strength. A few Harpies attempting to push back this aggression. But yeah, Rock in a great position here. Lemminkainen now throwing up a Krogoth. He's got to do something here. He's got to do something desperate. He's got to do something amazing, unorthodox. or you know, extraordinary. He's got to do something to really catch Rock off guard, because at this stage of the game, Rock certainly has him in a chokehold. There is not enough air defense, I think, in his army here. He could use perhaps some of the T3 mobile air defense vehicles, whatever they're called. That might help. This Harpy's being annoying. But annoying is not quite good enough. Man, I'd love to see even more Intimidators, or dare I say a Buzzsaw. I would love to see a Buzzsaw. Talking to you, Rock. Can you hear me? The Krogoth is complete. He will finish that in record time, but one Krogoth is probably not going to be enough if he really wants this to work. He will build multiple Krogoths. Rock sending more scouts to give him the lay of the land. Don't think he has bombers, but he's just looking for targets. With his Berthas, one Krogoth probably not going to do it, but if he can get... Oh my goodness! Aha! He has found the juice. He has found his target. All guns are trained on the gantry. Oh my goodness, the destruction. This is a pleasure to watch. Oh, this gantry, even if it survives, every shot is just going to be taking out huge swaths of construction K-bots. Good God almighty. Somebody help this man. Somebody help Lemminkainen, now building a third K-bot gantry. He's got to do something. He can't even build Krogoth with all this pressure. Oh my God! Just imagine if Race had even more Berthas. I know that I cannot be satisfied. I understand that my need is insatiable, but please give us more. This is just so fun to watch. Rock pelting Lemminkainen's base, and Lemminkainen, I mean, standing strong despite the terror campaign that has been leveled against him. But see, this situation is causing Lemminkainen to move out with his Krogoth a lot earlier than I think he would have liked to. He was already building a second one, but had to stop production as soon as those Intimidators started hitting the lab. So he will be forced to move out with just one Krogoth, and one Krogoth isn't going to do it. If he had 3 or 5 or whatever, but man, just showing the power of those Berthas. I love it. You love to see it. Where is our Buzzsaw? Give us more. We are dopamine fiends. Oh my God. This Krogoth, harbinger of destruction, but even Neo from the Matrix cannot survive the sheer amount of damage. Good Lord. Poor Krogoth. Just doesn't stand a chance. There's way too much. Way too much. This Krogoth will be forced back. Go home, sir. You are not allowed anywhere near my base. Good God. What a game this has been. I have to say, both these players putting on a show. But you know what would make it an even better show? The Dictator, the T3 Bertha. Why don't you build one of those, Rock? Why don't you really treat us? You know, don't just wine and dine us like this. You know, take us to something beyond our greatest expectations. Red Lobster does not satisfy. Sir, we need some restaurant that is so expensive we cannot even pronounce the name. Some overpriced French shithole. Pardon my language. Where is the Dictator? Where is the Dictator, sir? This is not enough. Clearly, more punishment must be administered. Clearly, 3 Berthas is not cutting the mustard. Please, Rock. Please. We need it. Oh my goodness. The game continues. This is so epic, man. I don't know what to say at this point. Feeling a little delirious. But I have to say, if Rock could just build a dictator now, I think I would die happy. I think I could probably just cross that off my bucket list. And just say, I'm ready to go now. Thank you, God. You've given me a good one. It's been a great time. But no, right now we're just going to have to be satisfied with our 3 Intimidators. But I mean, okay, working on a 4th one. Can't complain too much. I'd love to see a buzzsaw here. I feel like Lemminkainen, he's probably on the verge of tapping out. This has got to be so mentally draining, being on the receiving end of all of this. Building more Krogoths. And at the beginning of the cast I said 1v1 games never go to T4. But this game feels like it has a chance of going to T4. There's a possibility we could get there at this rate. But I really feel like Rock is just a tease. He's just teasing us. He could end the game if he just built more Berthas. He just does not want to allow us our satisfaction. The diplomats, they're going to get absolutely roasted by the Krogoths. No chance. Nice shot. But yeah. More Krogoths moving through. However, friend Rock has some Krogoths of his own. But, man, can Lemminkainen find a way to come back? Man, this would be like the greatest comeback of all time if Lemminkainen could actually mount an effective victory in a game that just seems totally lost. Intimidator now in trouble. It seems like Lemminkainen breaking through. These 2 Krogoths getting some work done. What a legendary game. Holy cow, Lemminkainen, what are you doing? You are not allowed to win. The fates have declared that you cannot win this game. Holy cow. 3 Doomsday Machines, a Krogoth, Toasters, Intimidators, Pillagers, and the kitchen sink, everything with its guns trained on these Krogoths. And still, they persist. Rock will lose his Krogoth. It will explode in a blaze of glory. Holy shit, this game is so close. I really thought Lemminkainen was dead, but these Krogoths refuse to die. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Another Krogoth does make it off the assembly line. But Lemminkainen, these 2 Krogoths, legends, 52 kills on that one, 52 on both. Combined over 100 kills. I think this Krogoth will end the reign of terror. But these Krogoths of Lemminkainen's have full veterancy, so even though they are just on a sliver of health, they are absolutely roasting Rock's full health beast. Look at this. This shouldn't even be close. These Krogoths are on a sliver of health. What is happening? Oh my goodness. Look at all the immolators. I'm a kid in a candy store right now. This is just too great. The Krogoths will go down. The game will continue. But, man, what a game it has been. Lemminkainen refusing to fucking die. Please. Please, Rock says. Give me a break from this game. Allow me some peace. What can Rock do? I mean, I've already said what Rock can do. He could build more Intimidators, but aside from that, what can Rock do to win this, to close out the game? He's been trying to close out the game for the past hour. He has taken out whatever this was, some kind of plant. I'd like to see him target, if he can hit them, the fusions. Ooh, that would be a juicy target right there. All 5 of those fusions going up in a blaze of glory. The aircraft plant will suffer and die as well. So, man, what a game. Only 2 Intimidators left, but they're still doing incredible amounts of work. Where is the buzzsaw? Where's the dictator? Where is the nuke? Oh my goodness, this game. What a game. What a game it is. Rock's base, you can tell, decimated, crippled beyond repair. Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but certainly seen better days. Rock on T3 air, but he really hasn't done much with it. He's had this plant for a while, but I haven't seen him use it. He's built, what did he build? The Skynet. He had a Skynet, but that's anti-air. It doesn't really have any combat value, aside from just killing other aircraft. So, yeah. Both players. I can't believe that Lemminkainen is in this. Guys, remember, 30 minutes ago, Lemminkainen did a desperate game-ending snipe attempt with Harpies, and it didn't work. And at that point, it just felt like, GG, man, this guy is dead. There is no way on heaven or earth he will ever make it back into this game. Have any hope? I mean, Rock has been on his doorstep for 90% of the game, keeping him contained in his base. But Rock, please build some game-ending weapon. Where's the nuke? I'm just trying to look through Rock's base and make sure I'm not missing anything that he could be doing that might put an end to this madness. Oh, he is building a Vindicator. That could do it. But Lemminkainen's economy is quite a bit better. Like, Lemminkainen, despite only having this tiny... Well, it's not tiny, but this corner of the map is making more resources. And arguably using them more effectively than Rock. I mean, certainly he's managing to stay in the game, a game that should have been over a long time ago. These diplomats, it's going to be difficult for them to even get in range to do anything. Ah, here's a sneaky decimator at the west corner of the map. Lemminkainen looking for another aerial raid attempt. Maybe going for another snipe. I don't think that's going to work, but he could go for T3 fusions. Of course, I don't think Rock has T3 fusions, but he could go for fusion farms. It's always a possibility. Lemminkainen with another desperate push up the middle. 2 Krogoths and a nice army of Talos. Rock is now playing tower defense here. Just built a huge defensive wall, and Lemminkainen continues to smash into it over and over. One thing I don't like about this is that Lemminkainen needs to attack through this area that he's already broken open. He may, of course, be focusing the Intimidators, and that's certainly understandable given how much of a problem they have been this game. Rock building another one, but that's unlikely to get finished as these Krogoths, 3 Krogoths now, move into position. Does Rock even have enough to stop this? Oh my god, I don't think he does. He has 1 Krogoth, but the Doomsday Machines are dead. Now, there's still this Doomsday Machine. The Intimidator goes up in a bowl of smoke, but this Intimidator not far behind, and all 3 of these Krogoths relatively healthy. Oh no. These 3 Krogoths could end the game if these make it to Rock's production line. It is over. How is Lemminkainen doing this? How is Lemminkainen staying in this game? A game which 10 minutes ago I would have told you he had almost no chance of winning. It's not actually what I said. I said I did say it's not over, and it certainly was not, because Lemminkainen somehow has created a monster that Rock does not seem to have an answer for. This could end the whole game. These 3 Krogoths, all still relatively healthy. Oh no, dude, the T3 advanced vehicle plant going up in smoke, and now Rock will have to use his commander. He will have to attempt to snipe it. He needs to cloak his commander. He needs to cloak it if he wants to get the D-gun. Okay, he will cloak the commander. Hopefully it's on hold fire. Rock is going to have to D-gun these Krogoths if he wants any chance of staying in this game, but oh, this is going to have to be the best D-guns of all time, because he gets one shot, as Eminem would say, one chance at one opportunity, and if he messes this up, he will explode. These Krogoths will absolutely demolish him. Oh no, dude, it didn't work. Rock loses the game. How did that happen? What a game that was. What an amazing 1v1. I was not prepared for that, my friends. I was not ready. Clearly, as you can tell just from some of the things I said, I think I've taken too many drugs here. This game has acted as some kind of unhealthy addiction, and I must take a break. But guys, I hope that you enjoy this cast. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Comment what you thought. And I will see you in the next cast.